Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to another video today. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Sunrise Mall NY, located in Massapequa, New York, within Nassau County, New York. So a couple days ago, it was announced that the Sunrise Mall it told tenants to leave the property. The Sunrise Mall itself is expected to be going under some transformation, obviously given the Urban Edge acquisition of the property, with Westfield selling the property, and obviously Westfield focusing on the other three malls in New York and New Jersey and the one in Connecticut, such as Westfield Trumbull, Westfield South Shore, Westfield World Trade Center, and finally my home Westfield Mall, Westfield Garden State Plaza. The move does not come as a surprise. There was an article from WCBS, CBS New York, and they said that many malls on Long Island were struggling even before the pandemic hit, and now one of the major malls is telling tenants to leave. There are just 50 tenants left in the once bustling Sunrise Mall on the 77 acres of Massapequa, which opened in 1973. Soon there will be none. I grew up in this area. This is the mall I came to, and it's just sad to see it go. Mall patron and Nikki Bamuto said, "Oh, I think Amazon killed it. Amazon and the whole digital entity of ordering stuff online is the main reason that malls are shutting down nowadays," mall patron and Kevin Winston said. What Winston did not do, and I guess, he's not going to be, because he's a mall patron, he's not going to go on the internet searching up why the fall of Sunrise Mall. There's a couple of reasons why Sunrise Mall did have its ultimate downfall, and I think the media really missed the mark on that, which is a little disappointing. I will give CBS and New York credit for it actually going out to the mall and interviewing patrons, which I will give them credit for that, but I really think they missed the mark, and really the main reason why the Sunrise Mall is in the sad state it is today. So the Sunrise Mall has been a mainstay in Massapequa since 1973. Now stores will be looking for a new home or closing permanently. Employees and owners are scrambling. For me, I'm heading into the military. That's my only option. For other people here with a small business, they might make it online, said David Futures of Custom Tees. When Walmart, JCPenney, and Sears pulled out, the writing was on the wall. Urban Edge Properties in Manhattan, which purchased a struggling mall, hopes for an orderly transition as specific leases expire over the next year. I'm going to miss it. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs, mall patron and Tracy Morrison said. What do you like about the mall? CBS 2's Jennifer McLogan asked 9-year-old Janalee Morrison to look at things and touch things. Janalee said, "The property is zoned for commercial or light industrial. Residential development wouldn't be allowed unless the town board approves a zoning change," which that's probably most likely to happen with the town of Oyster Bay. I can't imagine that the town of Oyster Bay would pass up an opportunity to put more residents in, especially that area of Long Island. We certainly would like to see some form of residential because there is a tremendous housing need on Long Island. Eric Alexander, Vision of Long Island. Long Island's 8 major malls are at a turning point as foot traffic ebbs and flows, especially since the pandemic. Many smaller stores who sign leases unwittingly are not surviving. Mom and pop stores, the most passionate seem to be the mall walkers. They're not going to renew leases. The one person says, "We've been walking here for over 20 years. Another person said, "Terrible what they're doing to us." Another person said, "If affordable housing cannot be brought in, many want innovation and technology companies for stable, lucrative jobs." The advocacy group Ignite Long Island, meanwhile, says it's a good time to diversify malls with local homegrown businesses. So, again, I do give them credit for interviewing mall walkers, but I do wish that the mall walkers would have talked a little more. So what we have here is basically different communities talking about, "Thank you for your interest in Sunrise Mall redevelopment to ensure the property remains positive and contributing to be an economic anchor for the surrounding communities, such as the town of Oyster Bay and Nassau County. The mall is preparing for the next chapter." This is just some facts, answers, and questions that goes over why stores are closing, what are the plans for Sunrise Mall, and they said knocking the mall down is definitely something that is in the cards. For the redevelopment process. Why does Urban Edge intend to build on the property site as a residential community? So yeah, that right there just basically states that the town of Oyster Bay is it's very likely that they're going to approve residential housing on the property. They have not yet set a timeline of when the changes will start happening, but changes are coming to Sunrise, which is a good thing. So why this property? What makes this property out of all the malls on Long Island struggling. Yes, it has a Dave and Buster's. Yes, it has a Dick's Sporting Goods. But look at all the other anchors. The J.C. Penney spot has been vacant for almost 5 years now. The spot closed in 2017. Walmart, I can't really consider Walmart a loss only because there's so many other Walmarts across Long Island. So I can't imagine a Walmart pulling out is a significant loss. Yes, it probably brought a lot of cars to the property, but nobody inside the mall. That's just a fact. That's not even um, you know, that was more so of putting the businesses out of business with the Walmart being there. As for the J.C. Penney store, it was very sad to see that one go because that was one of the two anchors that have been at the same exact spot since 1973 when the property did open up to the public. It is very sad. It was very sad when that Pennies went, and obviously I went out to go take the final ride on that, and that was almost 5 years ago. And then, of course, 4 years later, just late last year, Sears, or rather Urban Edge, terminated the lease for Sears in the mall, and I think Transform Co. paid, or Urban Edge paid Transform Co. money to close the store, and the store did very, very abruptly close because they just want, Sears obviously is not another retailer that's really struggling right now, and even their store count is pretty sad, and so it just makes sense that for Sears to pull out of this mall. It just made sense altogether. And as for Macy's, of course, there's rumors literally circulating around now that that's going to be the next anchor to go. Apparently, from what I've heard, Macy's does not want to invest in the Sunrise Mall Macy's, which honestly, to me, I mean, you've got so many other Macy's choices on Long Island. You got Macy's Roosevelt Field, Macy's Walton Shops, Macy's Smith Haven Mall, and Macy's Westfield South Shore. Those are just better locations for them, and I can't imagine they want to keep this store around, especially since this store has been untouched since '73. I just don't see Macy's holding on to the Massapequa store for much longer, but other things I really wanted to talk about and why the media missed the mark on it. The reason that this mall is in the sad state that it's in today is because number one, Westfield never got the approval, and this was when at the time Westfield didn't own the mall. Remember Urban Edge just acquired the mall a little over a year ago. Um, but to that point, with that guy in the town of Oyster Bay saying no to the renovations for Sunrise Mall, he or she basically doomed the actual property, and it is exactly why the property is in the sad state is in today. Again, we don't know this person's name. We don't know if it's a he or she. All we know is that this person said no to redeveloping the mall, and that's why the mall's never received a renovation. Notice all the other malls around Long Island. Roosevelt Field, Whitman, Smith Haven, Walton Shops, Smith Haven, Westfield South Shore, and even Broadway Commons. They're trying to pump some life back into. That's another video for another time. But hopefully, I mean, even Broadway Commons is doing slightly better than this property. Green Acres is another one too. That's another one. I mean, I guess I don't really. I mean, I guess I should really count that as a mall in Long Island, even though it's just outside of Queens. But the bottom line is, this mall itself as a shopping mall is basically done. There is no future for this being an enclosed shopping mall. There's two out of the four anchors are vacant, and there's probably Macy's is probably it's very likely that Macy's will pull the plug. But when they were doing the renovations, when Westfield got the property in '05 and '07, there was plans to completely redo the outdoor, have several tenants across here. Um, Westfield really had ambitious plans for the mall, and then it just kind of fell apart. Um, it's a shame because especially with somebody who grew up going to Westfield Garden State Plaza, you look at Westfield Sunrise and you're like, wow, I wouldn't have expected this, especially, and I think too, I got spoiled by having to know Westfield Garden State Plaza as a kid, so I had very high expectations for Westfield. But when I went to Westfield Sunrise, it really almost felt like Livingston without Lord and Taylor, and minus Lord and Taylor, but add J.C. Penney. That's exactly what Sunrise felt like. I mean, maybe different tenants, but it felt like another Livingston. That's what Sunrise felt like to me, at least. But again, it's very sad, obviously. Um, The mall really doesn't have a future as an enclosed mall, but I have no doubt that the town of Oyster Bay will absolutely approve residential redevelopment, because look at how much space they have to work with. You could very well just leave the Dick's and the Dave and Buster's building, or they could completely reconstruct it and maybe have like Dick's on the bottom or something, and even maybe Dave and Buster's too, because I don't think Dave and Buster's would be leaving the property. I can't imagine they would, especially since the location is relatively new. I just don't see Dave and Buster's wanting to leave. But again, Dave and Buster's could very well turn around and leave. There's a lot of possibilities, but Sunrise's future is definitely not looking good, at least mall wise. I think redevelopment wise, there's definitely an opportunity to put some sort of town center on the property, and it would be very interesting to see what happens with this mall structure that has been standing here since 1973. So yeah, that's my whole take on Sunrise Mall in Massapequa, New York. Let's see what the future holds, and hopefully soon enough there'll be um, new and ambitious plans to revitalize this property. So, and check the link in the description below for more information. So, anyways, guys, thank you again for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that will be it.